Wanted to be part of the Get Real retreat because she said anytime she would cross paths with an African American man, she would get sick to her stomach and have rude outbursts. She said she didn't want to live her life like that anymore.
My name is Kathleen, and I have issues with black men. I just dislike all black men, young, old, middle-aged. I just dislike them all. On the first day when we had to do the trust issue, I intentionally skipped Wade.
Tell him why you skipped him.
I was raped.
Finish your sentence. I was raped by...
A black man.
And that scares you.
My fears have gotten worse, and I keep my gun with me at all times. I went and bought a bunch of hollow point bullets to make sure that if anybody does come in here, they won't walk out. It was very hard to stay in the house with Wade. It was really nerve-wracking. I don't trust any black guys at all.
Don't you want to be able to stop living the way you're living every time an African American man comes within 50 feet of you?
Yes, I do. I just don't want to be a victim anymore.
Well, after the retreat, Kathleen says she still needs help with her fear of African American men, even though she talks to Wade on the phone all the time. She was worried about seeing Wade for the first time, and Kathleen is here with Wade and also with a therapist that has been working with her extensively, Dr. Barbara Peavey, who is from the P&P Center in Dallas, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Actually. So you know Dr. Peavey, of course. So how you feel about being here with your buddy Wade?
I told him on the phone that I wish that I would go blind until today.
Yeah.
Because then, if I could go blind until today, I would see him with my heart and not my head. Because he really is a super sweet guy.
Yeah.
And when I talk to him on the phone, I don't see color. It's just a good friend who I come to get really close with. And I was scared that his color was gonna.
And what is your reaction and how do you feel being here with him now?
Well, I'm shaking, I'm nervous, but at the same time, I keep telling myself it's just Wade.
Yeah. I'm so glad to see you smile when you say that, actually, because I think there's a level at which you know that that's not rational, but there's a level at which you know it's very real. It's just a reality for you, right?
It is.
And, you know, and maybe I don't need to say this, but you know, I said it several times in the retreat when you and I were talking. I want people to understand and know that you are anything but a racist. That's not what this is about. You have come by this very honestly because you have been seriously and severely traumatized in your life by an African American in a way that would leave its imprint on anyone. And I want people to know, because I don't think there's an ugly bone in your body. I don't think there's a hate-filled bone in your body. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
I mean, before I actually came on the retreat, I had to call my girlfriends who are black and say, look, I'm going to do this, and this is why I feel this way, so that they would know up front. You know, they were like, oh, we don't think, we won't think anything bad. You're not a racist. I mean, because I do have black girlfriends that I treasure, I would die for. And my theory is like, everybody just wants me to get over it. But, when you get burned, if you touch the stove and you get burned, you pull back. And so every time you go to touch a stove and you feel that heat, to pull back because it burns. And that's how I feel, even though Wade is super sweet and I don't think anymore that he would hurt me, my body tenses up and I still pull back.
And Dr. Peavey, this is something that you got, and we have a team of resources that we've brought to bear with you, because a lot of this is, whatever labels could be, post-traumatic, whatever we're talking about, this is something that she's making progress on, true?
She's making tremendous progress. She's been working with different types of learning how to develop your own coping strategies. One of the things Kathleen, through her experience, just hasn't really had the foundation or had good coping strategies, hasn't known how to deal with the stress or the anxiety. And so one of the things that we did when she came to the P&P Center is we evaluated her with the biofeedback and found out that she would benefit to learn some skills at how to be able to work with that.
Yeah, that reaction you have is an involuntary reaction. It's not something that you want to have. It's what I call an automatic thought. You have this internal dialogue that is so well learned that it instantly gives you that physiological response. And so you've learned that, so it has to be unlearned, and that takes time. But you're making progress.
I think so.
Well, we're going to talk about that when we come back. Recently, Kathleen had an incident with an African-American man. We're going to find out how she reacted. It's happened more than once. She's had some good, some not so good. We'll talk about it. DrPhil.com, brought to you in part by
80% of us don't get enough calcium from food. Our bodies can steal it from our bones. Give yourself some TLC, Tender Loving Caltrate, and give TLC to somebody you love.
travel consideration provided by
Activon Ultra Strength for powerful pain relief. A convenient applicator means no messy creams. Activon, applied directly where it hurts for joint pain, muscle pain, arthritis, and backache.
I talk to Wade almost daily. I was afraid that if I talked to Wade, I would get anxious and I would say something ugly and it would just turn out bad and it's not fair to him. I was amazed at how comfortable Wade made me feel. 2 weeks ago, there was a black guy. He approached me and I stayed calm and we talked for a little bit. Told Wade, I didn't get mad, I didn't lose my cool, nothing. I never called him a name, it never got ugly. The whole time I was talking to this guy, I kept seeing Wade. I kept saying, this is Wade, you're talking to Wade, you're talking to Wade, stay calm.
Well, maybe you've been able to relate to one or more of the 14 Get Real participants, and we know you have because I read the mail, and that's why we chose them, so you could find ways in their work to use in your own life, things that you see happening here that you can use in your own journey. They've been making changes in their lives, and hopefully you have too. Now, Kathleen says she's definitely doing better since the retreat. Now, in addition to Dr. Peavey from the P&P Center in Dallas, I set Kathleen up with a biofeedback therapist, Patrice Brumley, and with our own Dr. Lawlis. Now, you guys have been involved in this process as well because, you said some people tell you just get over it. And I haven't told you just get over it. I told you at the time this was going to be a process and that we were going to make resources available to you so you could begin to work on those things. And you've availed yourself of that. And everybody tells me you've been working really hard.
I have.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Now, Dr. Lawlis, part of this, and I talked about the involuntary aspect of this, and I want people to know at the P&P Center, this is a multidisciplinary clinic. So you have physicians there, biofeedback therapists there, all different type, whether it's neurology or hormonal things, biofeedback, whatever. All of those things are made available, and that's what we've been doing here. You think there were some real hormonal imbalances at the adrenal level that made this involuntary for her?
Well, what was happening is not only her adrenal functions, but her female hormones also were just in total chaos. And even if she had been just totally, raised in a normal situation and having total normal experiences, with her hormonal, chaos, she would be just fit to be tied. So she's so vulnerable. She was so vulnerable to any kind of anxiety that her arousal just got out of control almost immediately. So I really have tremendous respect for her and her ability to really follow up with this kind of hormonal therapy that will make a huge difference in her life.
And it's made a difference in the way you feel, right?
Yes.
Is she learning biofeedback-wise to control the arousal and anxiety?
Yeah, she's learned a number of different techniques, relaxation techniques, stress management, breathing techniques, so she can learn to manage the ups and get them back down.
Yeah. All of you at home, what I want you to take away from this is that you can fight back. I mean, if you're feeling like you're just totally underwater and that there's just no hope, that's not true. You can fight back and things do get better and you build on each strength. It's always been said you got to crawl before you walk and walk before you run. It is a process, but you can fight back, right? And you are fighting back.
I'm trying.
And you're going to continue.
Keep trying.
All right, we'll be right back. You heard what I said on the show, but to find out what I said after the show, visit drphil.com and click on Dr. Phil Uncensored. Well, the whole purpose of doing the Get Real retreat is really to provide stories, to provide anchors, to provide references that you can use at home. And I want to thank Paige and Wade and Kathleen for sharing their stories with us today and in the retreat. And Dr. Lawlis, Dr. Peavey, thank you guys for everything you're doing. You guys never say no. I send people to the best of the best in America. And this P&P Center is the best of the best. And we're going to have a link up for that on our website as we do. I fly people in from all over the globe when we need interventions in this kind of way. Patrice Brumley, thank you for your work with Kathleen. Continue to give her that control, and I'm sure we'll make progress going forward. Well, very soon I'm going back to the Oprah Winfrey Show for the first time in 8 years. And I'm going with an amazing update from another one of my Get Real retreat participants, Melissa. You'll remember her. She couldn't get past the pain and embarrassment of having a father who was a convicted serial killer. She had so many questions for me. What did she tell her children about their grandfather? Where did her father fit into her life? And how could she keep her father's past from affecting her future? Well, the update with Melissa in just 2 weeks with me on Oprah is going to be great. You don't want to miss that show. So thanks for being here, and so long. Well, the whole purpose of doing the Get Real retreat is really to provide stories, to provide anchors, to provide references that you can use at home. And I want to thank Paige and Wade and Kathleen for sharing their stories with us today and in the retreat. And Dr. Lawlis, Dr. Peavey, thank you guys for everything you're doing. You guys never say no. I send people to the best of the best in America. And this P&P Center is the best of the best. And we're going to have a link up for that on our website as we do. I fly people in from all over the globe when we need interventions in this kind of way. Patrice Brumley, thank you for your work with Kathleen. Continue to give her that control, and I'm sure we'll make progress going forward. Well, very soon I'm going back to the Oprah Winfrey Show for the first time in 8 years. And I'm going with an amazing update from another one of my Get Real retreat participants, Melissa. You'll remember her. She couldn't get past the pain and embarrassment of having a father who was a convicted serial killer. She had so many questions for me. What did she tell her children about their grandfather? Where did her father fit into her life? And how could she keep her father's past from affecting her future? Well, the update with Melissa in just 2 weeks with me on Oprah is going to be great. You don't want to miss that show. So thanks for being here, and so long.